Alireza Firouzja, playing with the white pieces, opens the game with pawn to e4, signaling his aggressive intentions. Levon Aronian responds with e6, entering the French defense, a solid and resilient opening choice. Firouzja follows up with d4, aiming to control the center, and Aronian mirrors with d5, reinforcing his structure. Firouzja decides to exchange pawns in the center, simplifying the position early, and Aronian captures back with his e-pawn. White then develops the knight to f3, targeting the center and preparing for smooth development. Aronian responds with an interesting move, developing his bishop to d6, an unusual placement that signals a unique approach. Firouzja maneuvers his knight to g3, possibly preparing for an f4 push or maintaining flexibility in the position. Aronian, instead of castling or developing more pieces, plays f6, reinforcing his center but weakening his kingside slightly. White calmly plays a3, a move that might be useful later in restricting black's minor pieces. Aronian mirrors with a5, stopping any potential before expansion from white. Firouzja develops his bishop to d2, keeping his structure flexible. Aronian reroutes his knight to e7, preparing to bring it to a better square. White immediately develops his other bishop to f4, reinforcing central control. Aronian plays an artificial-looking queen move to d7, likely with the intention of connecting rooks and maneuvering the knight. White castles kingside and places his rook on e1, preparing for central action. Aronian, instead of castling, plays bf7, a somewhat passive move that allows Firouzja to immediately trade bishops on d6. Aronian recaptures with the queen, maintaining material balance, but white now gains tempo with qe3, activating his queen toward the center. Aronian develops his knight to g6, eyeing an outpost on f4, but white immediately plays h4, challenging the knight's position. Aronian responds with re8, bringing his rook into play. Firouzja calmly plays qd2, keeping his options open, but then, Aronian makes a critical mistake with nf4, allowing white to strike immediately. Firouzja sacrifices the exchange with rec7, a brilliant tactical idea that exploits the position of black's pieces. Aronian captures back with the queen, but white regains material with qxf4, and suddenly, white's position is dominating. Aronian desperately castles long, trying to get his king to safety, but white follows up with an immediate kingside push. The game escalates quickly as Aronian tries to create counterplay with bg6, but Firouzja keeps up the pressure with h5. Aronian counters with b4, but white plays nd2, reinforcing his control. Aronian tries to break free with g5, but Firouzja calmly sidesteps with qg4+, forcing black's king to move. The endgame begins to take shape as Firouzja continues pressing with f3, restricting black's minor pieces. Aronian pushes f5, trying to generate some play, but white captures with the knight, further increasing his dominance. Exchanges follow, and white's queen invades decisively. Aronian is left with few options as Firouzja's pieces completely dominate the board. The final mistake comes when Aronian plays rg2, an inaccuracy that allows white to launch a devastating final attack. Firouzja quickly mobilizes his rook, and after xa5+, Aronian's position collapses. The game concludes with Firouzja playing rf7, sealing the victory with an overwhelming advantage. A masterful display by Firouzja, who demonstrated excellent positional play, tactical sharpness, and precise execution to take down an elite opponent like Aronian. An impressive start to the tournament for the young superstar.